Aaron Rodgers.
Which it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
Because it just got out of hand. And I know you have opinions on this, Hayden.
Yeah.
You haven't talked to me about it, but I'm assuming you have opinions on this too. Please chime in once I get the backstory.
Gotcha.
Aaron Rodgers, diagnosed with COVID. It came out that he wasn't vaccinated, but in August he did say that he, quote, was immunized. Now, you take that how you want, but I take that as unvaccinated. The NFL did not consider him vaccinated, though.
So nobody knew he wasn't.
People knew.
They just didn't say anything.
The NFL considered him not vaccinated. So everyone in the NFL knew he was not vaccinated.
Yeah.
I don't think the general public knew, though.
General public did not, because he said in August, I'm immunized, which normal person, you, me, Shane, I'd assume that means he's vaccinated, wouldn't you?
With COVID, no.
Because immunization...
I know it's technically different, but the way he said it, you know?
Exactly, the way he said it is the reason why I don't think he was vaccinated now.
I love the way how the head coach deflected the question.
Well, no, it's not his job to answer that. That is on Aaron.
I know. So it was just like, that's a good question. You should ask Aaron that. I'm like, what a smooth...
Right, that's the right answer.
It's
you know,
the right answer,
you shouldn't answer for someone else's health, you know?
But it's like... I don't really have any strong opinions on it, just because with the amount of, like, anti-vaxxers drama that's gone on, it's just... At this point, like, please get vaccinated, but if you're not, just be upfront and honest about it.
Right. And I think that's the biggest problem here, that he wasn't upfront and honest.
I don't think that was the biggest problem, but continue.
Sorry. He claims he was allergic to an ingredient in both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine. So I'm assuming he's allergic to some kind of mRNA thing, because that's the only thing that they have that J&J doesn't.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't take those, and he said he didn't feel comfortable taking the J&J after it had gotten pulled in August and was back on the market later, you know? Which I guess is a valid concern, but also get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Well, does he have a valid...
He didn't say what he didn't say what ingredient he was allergic to. He just said he was.
Fair enough.
He said that he took advice from Joe Rogan on how to fix it.
Oh, never mind. You lost all.
He took ivermectin, zinc, and monoclonal or whatever. I don't know exactly.
Hydrochloroquine? Oh,
monoclonal or whatever.
All sympathy.
Dang it, I'm trying to remember
treatments.
what it is.
It's something like that.
This is what I don't get about people. It's like licensed medical professionals who've been spending years and have spent thousands of dollars of loans
monoclonal antibodies.
Medical research, who spent their lives researching this stuff.
Can we let him keep going? Let him keep going, please. It gets worse. It gets worse. Just
no.
And
I want to prioritize.
They some guy who has a podcast has more credibility than these doctors who've done all the stuff I've said before.
Yeah. In a quote, he said, I believe strongly in body autonomy and the ability to make choices for your body, not to have an acquiescence to some woke culture or crazed group of individuals who say you have to do something. Health is not a one-size-fit-all for everybody, and for me it involves a lot of study in the off-season. I mean, there's other... He goes on to say, if my plan was to say, regarding to the immunized quote, he basically said, I was cut off. If I was able to keep going, my plan was to say that I have been immunized. It wasn't some sort of ruse. It was the truth. I'll get into the whole immunization thing in a second. But if there had been a follow-up to my statement that I'd been immunized, I would have responded with this. I would have said, look, I'm not some sort of anti-vax flat earther. I'm somebody who's a critical thinker. What does that even mean?
Mm-hmm. How was he immunized, by the way? Does he say?
Yeah, with the Joe Rogan stuff, the zinc and the
monoclonal antibodies.
Right. And the ivermectin and stuff. He also said he took steps.
I guarantee you, there's no medical proof or study that proves that BS.
No, there's not. There absolutely isn't. I don't know, Hayden. You haven't. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so something that Jeremy did not bring up. Before I get into this, if he's actually allergic to these things, I understand his concerns. I understand why he's not vaccinated. If he's actually allergic to these things and his fear of the safety of the J&J, even though I would still personally still take it, I'm not going to one to judge. All right? But when you quote Martin Luther King Jr.
Right, that's
about standing up against laws that you think are unjust or crazy, and then compare your actions to said Martin Luther King Jr. quote, that is where I draw the line, and that's where I become a little frustrated.
I did forget to write that down. That's a little bit of important information.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch,
That was
buddy.
where I was like, oh, this is like kind of funny. Like, just, Aaron Rodgers talking about how he's like a Joe Rogan head, And then he did that.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, hey, man, maybe we need to have a talk. And that's my thoughts on that. That was...
Yeah, to reemphasize your point, like, if he's actually allergic to... Like, I understand the concerns with the vaccine. Like, some people have had horrible reactions to it. So, I understand, like, you may not be able to get it because of those medical reasons. But saying you're a critical thinker...
Yes.
In spite of, professionals who've dedicated their entire lives researching vaccines and pandemics, like, they've already done the work for you.
Yeah.
I just don't get why people just don't trust people who've dedicated their entire lives to this research.
So not them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're not a critical thinker because you don't even need to think that hard. They've already done the job for you.
Right. And he had a partnership with a local Green Bay healthcare center. Not anymore. He does not have that partnership
anymore. Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah, they cut him Saturday or Sunday. Which, yes, obviously. This is not something you want your healthcare center to be affiliated with.
Yeah.
So, there's blowbacks to this. He missed the game. That's just the least of the concerns. He might miss another game. Doesn't matter. That's just...
They're still a playoff team, it's fine.
Right. But, still, come on, man. You have so much influence over people. You have to know that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, thank you. There you go, Shane. Yeah. But, he is... He you hate to say it, but athletes have almost as much influence as anybody else in this world. Right?
Yeah.
Especially a star athlete like him. People will listen to him and do what he says. Yeah. It's just a shame that he's leading people down this path. It really is.
On that topic, it's very interesting how people interpret that, because some people are like, oh, you have this platform, you have to use it. And I'm like, no, they don't, because sometimes they're not the most qualified to speak about certain topics using their platform.
Right. I'm not saying they need to use their platform,
but I'm just saying
it's right.
It's an interesting discussion on how athletes should should they use their platform.
Right.
It's a good topic to debate.